Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're popping the hood on some serious GPU magic. If you've ever wondered how your standard CUDA text file actually transforms into blistering, raw hardware speed, you're in the exact right place. We're going to start from the absolute basics of how a raw file gets compiled, and then we're going to solve one of the biggest performance killers in GPU programming using a brilliant technique called memory tiling. Let's dive in.
Here's how we're going to break it down today. We'll start with compiling your CUDA code, move into the massive global memory bottleneck, introduce our hero, shared memory, look at exactly how tiling works, and finally, check out the massive performance payoff.
All right, part 1. Compiling your CUDA code.
So what actually happens when you hit compile? It's basically a three-step dance. First, the compiler splits the code meant for your CPU, the host, from the code meant for your GPU, the device. Then it spins up something called PTX, which is kind of like an abstract virtual instruction set. And lastly, it grinds that down into real, hard metal GPU machine code called SAS.
Picture the NVCC compiler as a master traffic cop. You hand it your .cu file, which is just a big mix of everything, right? NVCC looks at it, grabs the standard host code, and routes it to the left, straight over to your regular C++ compiler to become an x86 object file. But those special device instructions, it routes those down the GPU pipeline on the right, translates them into that virtual PTX, and eventually locks them into the actual GPU instruction set architecture, the SAS. Seeing this transformation side by side is honestly so cool. On the left, we've got the human-readable PTX. It's clean. It assumes you have infinite registers, and you can easily spot familiar commands like add and load global. But the right side? That's the raw, unforgiving, hardware-level SAS spit out by the disassembler. That is what actually runs on the silicon. You've got specific hardware opcodes like LDG for loading from global memory and FAD for the actual floating point math. It's the beautiful, chaotic reality of hardware.
Moving right along to part 2, the global memory bottleneck. Before we can optimize, we absolutely have to understand our baseline problem. When we first write a matrix multiplication algorithm, we almost always write a naive kernel. In this scenario, every single thread is completely selfish. It goes all the way out to the GPU's massive but slow and physically distant global memory to grab its data, completely ignoring the fact that the thread right next door probably needs the exact same numbers.
When you look at the math, this scales terribly. To calculate just one single output element, a thread has to read an entire row and an entire column. That's 2 times n global memory reads per thread. Multiply that across the whole matrix, and you're looking at total memory accesses on the order of n cubed. And since memory bandwidth on a graphics card is incredibly precious, an n-cube fetch rate will choke your hardware almost instantly.
To put that abstract math into a real-world perspective, let's say you're computing a standard 1024 by 1024 matrix. A naive thread is forced to make 2048 agonizingly slow reads from global memory. But as we're going to see in a minute, a smart optimized thread using a technique called tiling drops that down to just 64 reads. That is literally a game-changing reduction.
Which brings us to part 3, introducing shared memory.
If global memory is like a massive, slow warehouse miles down the highway, shared memory is like a hyper-fast workbench sitting right there on the factory floor next to your workers. It's on-chip SRAM, so it is ridiculously fast. But here's the catch. The GPU doesn't manage it for us automatically. We have to explicitly manage it in our code, and it's strictly shared only among threads that live within the exact same block.
All right, part 4.
How tiling actually works.
So how do we use that fast workbench? We use a spatial trick called tiling. Instead of blindly fetching data for the entire massive matrix at once, we chop the output up into smaller, bite-sized blocks, or tiles. The threads assigned to a specific tile team up to load just the partial rows and columns they need, right then from slow global memory into their fast shared memory tile.
If you track this over time, it's exactly like a highly coordinated pit crew. Thread 0 grabs a piece of data, thread 1 grabs the next, until a whole crate of data is sitting right there on the shared workbench. Once it's loaded, every single thread can read from that same crate over and over again. No one has to make that long walk back to the global memory warehouse. They just do the math, store the result, and move on to the next tile.
Putting them head-to-head really clears things up. The naive approach is totally uncoordinated. It wastes massive amounts of bandwidth because threads are fetching the exact same data on independent lonely trips. Tiling, though, relies on cooperative loading. You pull the data into fast SRAM once, and that massive data reuse just slashes your global memory traffic.
Let's bring it all together in Part 5, the performance payoff.
Looking right at the source code, you can see exactly how we command the GPU to do this. We drop in the _shared keyword to explicitly allocate our fast memory tiles. Then, check out the loop structure. There's an outer loop iterating over the tiles, and inside that, the threads collectively load their data into the shared arrays. Finally, an inner loop runs the actual dot product math completely inside that blazing fast on-chip memory.
But there's one absolutely crucial missing piece here, _sync threads. Since GPU threads execute independently, we have to guarantee that every single worker has finished putting their piece of data onto the shared workbench before anyone starts calculating. This command acts as a hard barrier. It forces everyone to wait until the setup is done. Without it, you just have a totally chaotic race condition.
So, the huge takeaway you should leave with today is that tiling totally transforms a bandwidth-choking disaster into a highly efficient GPU calculation. You access global memory exactly once per tile, reuse that data tile width times from fast SRAM, and mathematically eliminate those redundant reads. You're clearing the bandwidth bottleneck and finally unlocking the true raw speed of your GPU.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought-provoking concept. We've just seen how shared memory tiling absolutely revolutionizes flat 2D matrix math. But the real world isn't just flat squares, right? If we can tile matrices, imagine how we could use these exact same shared memory workbenches to compute complex 3D environmental stencils, things like fluid dynamics or heat transfer, where every single data point relies on a halo of its 3D neighbors. It's like a giant puzzle with endless possibilities for optimization. Keep exploring, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.